Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, here to share with you our latest edition on the Prom Corsage. I know it seems early. It's just now April. But my goodness, proms have been going for weeks already. I know when I started, they were always Mother's Day weekend. Prom was May. That's all that ever happened. But today, prom starts in March and extends through June. And here at the Floral Design Institute, the phone has been ringing off the hook, and my email is going boom, boom, boom with Leanne. It's prom time. Can you do a reminder? Tell me about, how did we do that? Brush up on, and our classes for prom corsages sold out. It is time. Oh my goodness. So I thought, let's go ahead. We'll do a prom corsage refresher right now for each and every one of you. The first step to successful creation of a prom corsage is to choose the right materials. For so long, it was always little sweetheart roses and not much else, maybe baby's breath, but roses were the flower of choice. Today, promers are much more sophisticated, and they're looking for things that are maybe a little different, a little edgier, and what a bonus to the florist, because one of the more sophisticated blooms, the miniature cymbidium orchid, is also incredibly long-lasting. So it makes it so easy to plan ahead with your prom assembly. So when I'm working on prom time and thinking about what I want to show to the promers, I choose things that I know will be long-lasting and make it easy for me to create a perfect corsage for them. So the little miniature cymbidiums, and then for filler, maybe something a little different, something beyond the baby's breath. Heather is grand, has a beautiful hot pink color to it, and pink is so popular these days. And then waxflower. This is a miniature version, so grand. Will add great texture and just a little bit of color without a big flower to it. Then of course foliages. You can use the artificial leaves or you can use real foliage. But if you're choosing real, make sure you choose long-lasting foliages, like the Ruscus family. Both Italian and Israeli last really well, and Galix lasts very well. So again, things that are going to hold up. Then for the band, we are so lucky with the Fitz products. They come in so many different colors. The sterling, the grape, the licorice. You can do a decorative bracelet for the little girl to wear. Of course, she doesn't want to be known as the little girl, but today, to me, all the promers are just little girls. So I'm going to work with the licorice band. I think it's very lovely, sophisticated. And then ribbon. Yes, I still use ribbon on my prom corsages, but instead of just one, two colors. That way, if it doesn't match her dress perfectly, it doesn't matter, because the two will kind of blend and counterbalance, looking perfect with the flowers and then beautiful with her gown. To begin, I take the ribbon that you can use to tie a wired corsage, but I don't wire mine. So I just take it and knot it so that it stays put, doesn't come undone. Then I cut that off. I don't really need that because I'm going to glue my corsage rather than wire and tape it. So then I flip this over. It has the little pad all ready to use as a base for the corsage. The bracelet will be protected so that it doesn't get glue onto it, and the pad's all ready to go. I begin with a bow, and rather than creating bows individually, make them together at the same time. Saves you time that way. Just put both ribbons in your hand, and then make a loop and a loop, twisting, looping. I make it nice and full, because bows don't die. They look lovely. They can plan ahead. It can be luxurious, give you a great base for your flowers, and all of it done way ahead. One more loop. Give it a cut. And this is the one time that I wire. Take a little bit of wire, feed it in, twist, then cut that off. So it's just used to secure it in place. Then using the Oasis Floral Adhesive, your cold glue, a little bit on the pad, Let it begin to set. It'll get a little bit bubbly. And then after it does set, setting the bow right in place. Now, as a smart florist, you do this ahead of time. The minute you get the order and you know what bracelet and ribbon they want, create this so that you're done. That way you don't have to do that portion when you're rushed, making dozens or hundreds of wrist corsages. Then, as the day draws close, that's where you go back and fill in with your fresh product. I'd love to start with a little bit of foliage, clipping it down. Just need the leaves and the filler. I don't start with my flowers. Flowers are going to be very last. So a little bit of heather, few leaves, and just getting it down into bits, and then taking your leaves. That one's kind of long, so I'm going to shorten it. You can always cut from the back, it doesn't show. The front still looks great. Just a dab of glue and set it into place. And again, a little dab of glue. So it's got a bad spot that I'm just going to clip that off. There we go. Set it into place. Make sure it begins to set. Maybe one more leaf. And then I can just divide my loops and set it right in. Then going back to the filler. Little bit of heather. Glue it down. And again. Now if you have many corsages where you need to do them in sections just because you can't get them all done right before the time, this would be another stopping point where you have the leaves and the filler and set it aside, because really this could last for a week or more and be ready to be beautiful on prom day. Now, I just need my orchids. And when you're working with cymbidium orchids, remember to always start at the bottom of the stem. Now, these lowest two have damage, so I can't use them. But then I go on up a little bit higher. And these are just fine. But by starting at the bottom of the stem, avoiding the damaged ones, you still have a beautiful stem at the top in case you want to use it for an arrangement later. Then I just cut these completely off of their stem. Don't need that at all. Then add a small amount of glue right to the base. And to allow it to set for a moment, you could go through and glue each one. And then come back, letting them set. And then returning and just gluing it right into place. Making sure that it's nice and sturdy in there. And then as you place them in, place their faces so that they look at each other. Orchids are very social creatures. They like to talk to each other. So if you turn their throats so that they all look inward, it's drawing the eye to the accent area. So that's your design technique. It also is drawing attention to the blooms themselves, creating a little bit of drama. Then once those are in place, I can go back with just a small amount of the wax flower so that I add some texture. Not very much, because the heather is my main filler, but just a few sprigs of the wax, just small little bits, nestled in between to give yet one more little bit of touch of flower and brighten the corsage. A touch of sparkle is all I need, and the Lomi gems are so grand. And if you remember back when you had your first corsages, how much you treasured them, saved them. I still have every corsage I ever received pressed, and it just is dead. It's awful. but I still love it. All that really looks good anymore is the smashed up ribbon. Well, the girls today, they're so much more fortunate because we have these beautiful gemstones that even after the flowers fade, the loamy gems will be lovely. They could take them out, save them in a scrapbook, press the entire corsage, whatever they want. I just cut the stem off, give it a little bend so that it's got a hook in it that just seems to secure a little better that way. Then a dab of glue on the gem and the wire. Let it set so it starts to dry slightly. And then just slide it right down in towards the center. Again, so that the orchids appear to be looking at the little gem. Then you just got to hold it until they set so that they don't slide out of place. A wrist corsage done in this way is so lightweight, so easy to wear. Just makes it wonderful for the little girl, and it makes it easy for you as well. Now, one last helpful hint for those of you that have called in. Yes, you got to be careful because the top can get glued on and you never get it off again. And if you think back to class, the trick was the Vaseline. Take just a little bit of that petroleum jelly and put it on the lid as well as the lip of the container itself, both of them, and then put it on. Now forever. You'll be able to get it back on and back off, and I think it seals it a little better so it keeps the glue fresh for even longer. Now for more creative inspiration, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you've got questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. That's what we're here for. 1-800-819-8089. If email is easier, use my personal email at Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. For now, it's time to say goodbye. Have fun and do something you love with prom corsages. See you next week when we do the boutonniere to coordinate and have more fun while we do something we love.